Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Bass Talk with Freekbass, and this is Freekbass. I'm here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we cover everything bass guitar, whether it be unboxing some crazy looking basses like this one right here. We did an unboxing of this Music Man Stingray a few weeks back, or talking different bass techniques or theories or bass line breakdowns, anything bass related. We got you covered here. We got a lot of incredible bass players I hear more and more from all the time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And a lot of people that aren't even bass players that are just fans of the sound of the bass, or just want to see what goes on behind that musical curtain sometimes. And so we welcome you here too, and thank you for tuning in as well. So if you're watching over at the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/freekbass, thanks for being here. Please hit your share button. That really helps get the show out to a lot of people. And if you're watching over at YouTube, which is youtube.com, the Freekbass channel, please hit your subscribe button and the thumbs up if you're digging what you're seeing. That really helps things out. And finally, I think we're also, we're at Twitter now too. So if you're watching on Twitter and you're digging it, you know what the deal is on Twitter. Hit that old RT, short for retweet. So it goes out to your folks there too as well. So that would be great. So, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold this week. I've been jamming on the green tea by Wendigo Tea, by the way. There's a little plug for Wendigo. The most incredible tea in the universe. But that's a whole nother podcast, isn't it? Or a whole nother live stream, that is. But what we're here to talk about tonight, I thought it would be, we're kind of getting into the holiday season, and I was like, well, there's some theory things we can talk about and all that kind of stuff, but I want to I try to make when I talk about music theory, whether it be theory or, scales or arpeggios or modes, I try to always do it in the context of a bass line and how you can apply it to writing bass lines. That was always my problem. I learned a ton of theory growing up in school and just on my own for some private lessons, and I was really fascinated by theory. It was I was a big math guy too, so I really love theory and mathematics are they're very kind of related. It's all a numbers kind of game. But in terms of playing bass, I was always it took me a while to get over that hump of how can I take something I learn in theory and turn it into a bass line, okay? And one of my favorite modes, I would start playing a lot, and a lot of the bass lines I play with these other musicians, and a lot of times they would tell me, they're like, man, you sure, Freekbass, you sure love that Dorian Mode, don't you? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I do. I'm not really sure. And what it was a lot of times is that it was that I really like the sound of that minor scale with a raised or natural sixth, and which is what a Dorian mode has. So what I thought I would do today, and we won't go down the door. There's a video, if you scroll back or check out some of my early videos where I really dive deep into the Dorian mode in terms of bass lines. We're obviously going to talk about it a little bit today, but it was more about just showing you an easy, fun bass line that you can, I'll show you how I do it, and you can play it finger style, you can do it thumb style, you can do it double thumb style, and if you're just kind of starting out, it's a really fun, kind of little funky bass line to kind of learn and play. And if you've been playing for a long time, you can make it a little more complicated by doing some double thumb stuff, a little bit of ghost notes, and there's a couple little other embellishments that you can do too as well. So as always, you heard me playing it as we as you tuned in tonight. I'll play along with it again, then I'll do it without the groove. So it's like this. All right, so this is the bass line just isolated, no drums. It's like this. I think one of the times I kind of ended it with one of these. A little little hammer-on thing there. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the easiest way to play it. So if you're just a beginner and you're just kind of getting into playing bass, you can play it. Then I'll kind of do more the intermediate version of the bass line, then kind of more the advanced version of the bass line. All right. So let's start with the beginner bass line, or the beginner version of the bass line. Now again, because it's a beginner doesn't mean that I can show you quick. And even if you've been playing for a long time, sometimes you might want to start with a beginner one and just really get in that lock of that groove first too as well. So the notes are real easy. It's so that's going to be the beginner version. So you've got E, open E, and then C sharp D, which is 4, 5 on the A, 5, 7, so D, E, so with the exception of the open E, everything else is on the A string. So open E, then 4, 5, 5, 7 on the A. And you can do it again, you can do it all finger style. So it's real easy if you're just starting out. Or if you want to do thumping style, you can do the same, the easy, like I keep saying easy, nothing's easy. It's all about grooving. So that's probably not a great word, but for like the most broken down version, you can do it all thumping style too. If you're just getting into thumping. So that's so again, E, C sharp, D, D, E. And going back to what I was talking about with the Dorian aspect of it, it is a, the C sharp is the natural 6 in a E major scale. So E minor normally has a C, but with the Dorian scale, it has a C sharp. And that gives it that little funky note. That's, the old, we want the funk kind of vibe to it as well. Okay. All right. So so that's beginner version. Okay. Now we'll kind of do more the intermediate version, which I would suggest maybe doing a thumping version on this. So what I'm doing here, and we've talked about this in other videos, I'm using other parts of my hands to make the groove a little funkier. So I'm hitting the E, coming down on with my left hand to mute the string, but it also creates a percussive aspect to it. And then I'm coming down with my right hand for another percussion, so it's like a triplet. Triplet. All right, 1, 2, 3. That kind of vibe. Now, you could do, we'll call it intermediate version 1 and intermediate version 2, which is a little more complicated. You could do it all just regular thumping. It's all the same notes as a beginner thing, but that's all thumping. But you get that triplet in there. Or if you want to do intermediate version 2, a little more complicated, I do a double thumb. So on that C sharp, I'm coming up on a C sharp, and then those are 2 downstrokes on the E. See, I'm kind of coming up on my thumb, double thumb stuff. Lots of videos that I've done on double thumb stuff too. You can check out as well here on BASSTalk with Freekbass. Okay, and then version 3, which is kind of more the, kind of advanced, or if you've been playing for a few years, and getting the thumping thing down, that's where you're kind of incorporating all this with the double thumb things and a couple little extra ghost notes. And then let me show you, it's like this. That kind of thing. And so what I'm doing there, it's kind of like the intermediate version with a, but I'm also adding a couple other little mutes. So you got E, that little triplet, C sharp. So I'm hitting the D, then doing another little triplet-y. Like that. I'll do it really slow. And then, you know, I had added a couple little embellishments where I was doing that at the end of the phrase. So I'm just hammering, thumping 5 to 7, D to E, plucking the G on the D and coming back to there at the end of the phrase. Or you could do version 2 on that. I'm just 7 9 D, which is A to B, and then I'm plucking D to E on the G string, 7 to 9 on there, like that too as well. And you know, one thing I had a little epiphany this week actually, from watching Gene Simmons play, of all bass players, you know. And you wouldn't think that you'd hear talking about Gene Simmons here on Bass Talk with Freak Bass, but quickly I'll say a lot of times you'll see pictures of him with his thumb over the bass. Part of the time it may be just him being, you know, not paying attention to his technique, but I think a lot of the times, and I've seen, you know, a lot of photos of myself with my thumb over the bass, it's not because I'm like getting lazy with my technique. A lot of times I'm using my thumb to mute the E string so it doesn't ring. Like even here. Like right there, you see my thumb over the bass? That doesn't look like great technique when you're looking at it, but I'm using it to mute the E string, so when I'm thumping on the other strings, it doesn't, they don't ring, the E doesn't ring at all, so you have that isolated note. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, and it's something that you might want to experiment with a little bit too as well. Once you get your normal good, normal with your thumb behind the neck technique down too as well. So there you go. There's 3 different versions of the same bass line: a beginner's version, a intermediate version, A and B version of that, and then of course the more advanced version too. So check those out. I hope you enjoy that. Let me play this one more time before we head out of here. So we got. And there you go. So there's a little version of that too as well. So that's it. Thanks for being with me here. Let me know. Leave any questions down in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook or you're on Twitter. I will answer every single one of them. Make sure you join me tomorrow night. That's Thursday night, if you're watching this live. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/Freekbass. It's all live grooves with Freekbass from Creighton. Oh, wow. I didn't know that was going on there. Creating live beats on the air with you. So that's it. That's twitch.tv/Freekbass, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. And join me this Saturday night chit chat with Freekbass. All right. We always got a special guest. I got a good one this week too. You're going to want to tune in for that. Thanks everybody. I hope your holidays are going great. And again, thanks for hanging out with me and playing a little bit of bass. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.